the princess of the people, but the princess of rap, it's clicking, but it's clicking down. Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on. What's going on, you all? Let's talk about the Billboard interview with Ice Spice. Billboard has just dubbed her as the princess of rap in the interview they did with her, and I have so many thoughts. The new princess of rap, how Ice Spice exploded into stardom. In this interview, which I felt like was a really good interview, we got a chance to know about Ice Spice and her history, where she comes from, found out that her father was actually a rapper, and how she's dealing with being famous, and how her, her team and her management are trying to protect her from the stardom. So I thought it was a really, really good interview. So I want to discuss it because I see the conversation that's happening online. Flo Milli just tweeted earlier today, I wish y'all would stop with this tired narrative y'all love to push about my career. And in her saying that, you had a lot of folks who are always the people who are pushing and saying colorism ain't a real thing, don't believe in colorism, don't understand colorism, start to hop in the quotes. And we're saying very nasty things about a specific part of Twitter that has conversations about things like this. There was one tweet was saying she's tired of the cotton picking gorilla emoji, Twitter using her in their think pieces instead of streaming behind her music. Then you had somebody else saying, oh, that's shea butter Twitter. And what's also interesting about this is there was a very specific person who started the name shea butter Twitter, in a negative type of connotation. And what's funny is Ice Spice actually collabed with her and did a song and music video with her. But nevertheless, I want to have a conversation because I empathize with Flo Milli. I get what she's saying. I can get that it's annoying to be compared to this person or whatever, constantly hearing that oh my gosh, not only am I fighting colorism, but I'm hearing y'all constantly checking me and trying to make it seem like that I'm not doing well and I think I'm doing good. And I would accept that. I would accept and have even more empathy for Flo Milli if I did not see this interview where she said that she didn't believe that colorism was a thing that was affecting her, and that if it did happen, she didn't see it. So I'm gonna play the interview and stop, summarizing what I thought she was saying and let you hear it for yourself.
Complexion is a big topic when it comes to the music industry. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you're given all the opportunities as someone that is lighter complected? Do you feel that struggle?
I don't and I'm not just saying that. I really would. I noticed that. I would read the blogs, and a lot of girls would say oh, they missed out on opportunities, or they felt like lighter women got more. And I know it may seem that way, but I personally have not dealt with it. If it has happened, it's happened behind the scenes. I've not known, but... So
that's what Flo Milli had to say. Once again, I empathize with her being a dark-skinned person and moving in the world of colorism. And everybody who is dark-skinned don't understand colorism. Everybody who is fat doesn't understand anti-fatness. All black folks don't understand anti-blackness. It's a real thing. And I feel like Flo Milli doesn't understand colorism, and I hate that for her. I would love for her to know more about it. She would be able to understand. So there's been this big argument that people are trying to say, and even some people who I follow who don't understand colorism and just so happen to be light-skinned. You have people who are saying that some people are using Flo Milli and colorism to get at Ice Spice because they don't like her. Let me be clear. I have nothing against Ice Spice. I think she is a culture movement. I feel like that she is that Munch. It was a shift. It definitely was a shift. She's added a new language to the culture. Munch, the moment that you say that, people understand, they get the reference, her wig, the Afro wig thing is a signature, her look is a signature, she is stamped. She's stamped for right now. And I love that for her. But when I talk about colorism, it's not saying that Ice Spice is the villain or the evil person, because I don't think that she's an evil person or a bad person. I honestly don't know her. But what I do know is colorism. And what I do understand is that the industry is hella anti-black. So I'm not really surprised that Ice Spice has been able to grow and, you know, even from what her team is saying, excel like a rocket ship blasting off in ways that other female artists have not been able to do. Ice Spice is like a year, 2 years into her career, and she's already been invited to the Met Gala, where we got someone like Carisha, Young Miami, who her first time at the Met Gala was this year, and she literally came out when, like, the City Girls came out like, what, 2018 or something? I think it was like 2018. I was listening to them. That's when I heard about them. And like, they have not been at the Met Gala. Both of them have not been invited. Only Young Miami went recently, and she went on the, like, what's the names of Diddy. And I did a whole conversation about that, because the first time that she's invited or even going to the Met Gala, and she looked absolutely amazing, was on the arms of a black man that we know that she's been able to like use him to be seen in spaces and stuff. And that doesn't take away from Young Miami's talent, because I think she's phenomenal. I think the City Girls have definitely stamped themselves, like, you talking about a culture shift? They have done, there's so many like moments on like social media, so many things, so much history, that I could even do a whole video. It would have to be a series explaining, and they're only like a couple years into their career. The fact that JT and Miami have been able to stay relevant even when JT was in jail is telling. Like, they can't afford to be mediocre. And I'm not calling Ice Spice mediocre, but what I am saying is, to call her the princess of rap right now, when we've not seen one performance where she's completely aided. The performances that we're seeing, they are a mess. Like, she has absolutely no stage presence. That's no opinion, that's a fact. Like, girl, I'm watching you on stage and it's just not giving. It's still giving, hey, like, this is like, we paying you $3,000 to come and twirl around in the club for 15 minutes. Like, that's what that's giving. You come at 2 o'clock, the club is closing at 2:30. Like, girl, you walking in at 2 o'clock, you leaving at 2:30, we closing at 3 type of situation. That's what the performances have been given. And that doesn't mean that Ice Spice is not a performer, she's not talented. It just means it's gonna take her some time to get there. But Ice Spice doesn't have to get there, because the industry is already pushing her. The fact that she was over at Kim Kardashian's house, doing a TikTok video with Kim Kardashian's daughter that went viral and stuff. The fact that she went to the Met Gala, the fact that she has a whole Billboard spread, like, she's getting all of that, and yet she hasn't really proven herself like that. I get interviewing her because the Munch thing was a thing, but there's been other artists who have been able to do other things and are not getting that same attention. And why is that? Because of the industry. The industry is not interested in pushing like people who look like these other dark-skinned female rappers. Now, again, I empathize with Flo Milli, because Flo Milli tweeted, she said, "I wish y'all would stop with this tired-ass narrative y'all love to push about my career." We all know exactly what Flo Milli is talking about. She's talking about the conversation about colorism. And, you know, I'm like, okay, girl, like, I get it. I get that it's annoying hearing folks constantly saying something about like where you should be and all the other stuff. I as someone who is dark skinned and who is in the industry, like doing like media stuff, I get it. There's been opportunities that have been given to me and taken away and given to somebody else. I've seen other people who have been able to do stuff that I haven't, and they don't have the knowledge, especially in HIV spaces when it comes to work around sexual health. I see people get opportunities who have never spoken on sexual health, who have never publicly said anything about sexual health, get opportunity to speak and do things. And someone like me who's been able to do all of these things, using my platform to educate and inform the masses and stuff. And it's like, I haven't gotten these opportunities. So I understand if the industry is. I'm not going to feel any type of way if someone says, well, like, you would be a little bit further if, like, you know, you look, I even say that, I've said that in plenty of videos, like, if I was red as desirable, if I was lighter skinned, if I had a fit gym body, I would be able to do more. I've literally seen people who are not who can't hold a candle. I'm just so sorry, who can't hold a candle to what I do online and hold a audience, like be able to do stuff. And then when they get opportunities and stuff and it doesn't work out, it's just like, oh wow, because like girl, I understand how anti-blackness works. I understand how desirability works. Like the closer to whiteness, the more like, hello? I don't understand that. And what gets me is that people are just not being honest. People are not being honest. Oh, we just like her. We just like her. We just like her, as if all of this is happening in a vacuum. As if her being light-skinned is not making her like more likable. She's light-skinned, and that's automatically going to be making her more likable because of anti-blackness. Like, I don't understand. Hello? Like, I don't understand. Do I have to go back to the Disney references? Do I have to go back to how kids are looking at dolls that are dark-skinned and thinking that the dark-skinned child, the dark-skinned doll is mean and ugly versus the lighter ones or the white ones? Like, hello? So y'all just seem to think that just because, oh, I just like her. Yeah, yes, I think she is a likable person, but I also think that her being light-skinned allows her access to even more likability, desirability, desire capital, period. I want to talk about some of the tweets and some of the responses online from fans who were quote tweeting Flo Milli's tweet when she was talking about the career stuff. You had folks making comments about, like, this is gorilla Twitter. This is shea butter Twitter. Like, girl, like, that was going on. Like, these are things that people think about shea butter. When you think about shea butter, like, looking at this, who do you imagine? It's not no light-skinned woman. It's a dark-skinned, like, person with very tight curl pattern, like, very 4C hair, like, not a loose texture, like, very, like, hair like mine. Like, that's what you see. Like, that's what y'all see. Because that is anti-blackness. The fact that someone posted a gorilla emoji about that side of Twitter. Hello? Hello? Like, these are the folks who are dismissing colorism, and honestly, Flo Milli is adding fuel to that, and she doesn't even know it. She doesn't even know it because she doesn't understand colorism, and a lot of folks don't understand it. They thinking that we don't like Ice Spice because we just don't like her. What I don't like is anti-blackness. But that's what I don't like. And I don't like the fact that other artists who are out here doing the work and who are here doing stuff are not getting that type of notoriety. They're not getting that same type of capital. So I'm going to continuously talk about it until I'm blue in the face. If you are sick of people talking about colorism, you sound exactly like white folks are tired of hearing about racism. Like, I don't understand, like, do you hear how you sound? I'm tired of living in an anti-black world. I'm tired of dealing with colorism. We're all tired of it. Now, for the future, I will make sure that when I'm having conversations about the industry and Ice Spice being able to shoot off like a rocket ship, I won't use Flo Milli. Out of respect for her, I've seen her perform live. She's a very talented rapper, and I will respect her, and like, I'm not bringing her up. And I think some of us, you know, maybe could do that too. Now, there are some people who don't like Ice Spice and who will use Flo Milli and talk about colorism without understanding it. But for me, I understand it. Like, I get it. Like, I completely get it. And just me being dark-skinned isn't me being able to get it. The fact that I've read and I've watched and I've researched conversations about colorism, anti-blackness, and desirability, I understand it. So when I'm referencing it, it is showing us, like, showing the people, like, look at A artist, look how they've been able to grow and do all of these things. Now look at B artists and how they're doing the same thing and they're not getting the same type of notoriety. Like, what's going on? Like, that's a clear, what's the name? Like, if we've been known that colorism is a big issue, like all of the female rappers who are mainstream at the top, none of them are dark-skinned. Like, none of them are dark-skinned. Like, none of them are dark-skinned. Honestly, I feel like colorism has gotten worse. I feel like it was definitely bad in the 90s and 80s and stuff, Maybe history is repeating itself. But I feel like as we become, like, more online and we're seeing, like, pictures and images and stuff, I think that colorism and beauty standards and desire has, like, is rearing its ugly head. I think for artists who are not read as desirable, artists that are dark-skinned, are going to have a harder time getting that type of attention because automatically, like, you know, men have sexualized Ice Spice. They have completely sexualized this woman, And they are some of the reason why this stuff is going on. They're always talking about her body. They're always talking about her looks and all the other stuff, because a lot of these like black men unfortunately love them a light-skinned woman. Like, we've been hearing music is like with Redbone. We've been seeing the music video, the light-skinned baddie with the specific hair texture. We're not dumb. And I think I get irritated by folks who think that we are stupid like they are. I'm not stupid. I see it as clear as day. I can't help that you can't see it. Like, you're not gonna make me feel bad because I can see what you can't see. Maybe you need to go get some glasses. Maybe you need to go get your brain or your eyes checked, because I can see it. And the fact that you can't see it is not my issue. Like, I can see colorism playing out. I see anti-blackness playing out. You're not going to make me feel bad because I see it as clear as day. Maybe if you were more well-read and more understanding of colorism and anti-blackness, then you wouldn't have too much of issue, but you don't understand it. So you want the folks who do understand it to feel some type of way, and that's not going to happen. We're going to continuously have conversations about the industry, anti-blackness, and colorism, and y'all just got to fuck up. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's just what it is. So let me be clear and reiterate. I don't hate Ice Spice. A lot of us do not hate Ice Spice. What we hate is the industry that clearly is participating in anti-blackness and colorism. That's what we're sick of. That's what we're sick of. So for the folks who think that we're doing this to spite Ice Spice or whatever, what we're doing is having a conversation about colorism. Now, some folks would say, well, the conversation is not doing anything, nothing has changed, so let's just stop talking about anything. Let's just stop talking about anything. If that's how it is, like, girl, we've been talking about poverty, all the other stuff, like, let's just shut the hell up. Let's not talk about poverty, let's not talk about environmental racism, let's not talk about gentrification, let's just shut the hell up, because people are irritated by it. Let's just shut up. You see where that's going? Because honestly, the media, mainstream media, is not having conversations like this. I can't go and see a conversation about this on some of these mainstream networks. It's the little platform folks who are having conversations about this. We're losing some of the writers who used to write about this because these like companies are shutting down their media companies. Like, they're shutting down their publications left and right. So we don't have a choice but to have a conversation about this. So if you are tired of the conversation about colorism, we'll stop talking about it when anti-blackness ceases to exist.